Here we are in SignLab again. I have my sign blank set up to 11 by 8.5, and then I'm going to show you how to free draw and what it means to kind of edit these nodes and whatnot for editing. The best way to go about this is to get a Google browser up and find something that you want to trace using this tool. So this is the free draw, and this is straight lines, and this is curves. So let me just show you how these work real quick, and then I'll take you through the process of finding something off Google. So the straight lines is the first one in, and you simply just click, and they're all straight lines. And then you always have to end on your first node for your, so these are all nodes. Every time I click, it drops a node. And then your last node and first node have to overlap, and then you hit apply and it'll make a shape. If you don't connect them and there's a space, I'm exaggerating here, but same outcome, you'll see a dotted line. From then I'd have to go back in, double click, drag that node above the other one, hit apply, and it should conform to a shape with some type of fill. Okay, the second free draw is the one with the arc, and then I can click, and as I move over, I click and hold it down and drag it, and that edits my arc. So you can see how if I move, it adjusts that. So click, click, boom, apply, good to go. So moving back to Google here real quick, what I like to do is look up something and then silhouette behind it. So if I just look up truck, I'm going to find a lot of things, but they're probably a little too complicated to trace. If I type in silhouette behind it, I come up with a lot of like side profiles, and they're easy and they're black and white. And they're going to be much easier to make. Typically, I change this to large to get the highest resolutions ones to come up to the top. What I mean by that is right here, this is 1,500 pixels by 1,600. That's a decently big image. If you go to other things, 450 by 470 right here, that's not going to be as clear. So typically you always want a little more clear picture when you're doing these. So I'm going to find something here that's medium difficulty. We'll just go with this to start with. And I'm going to go copy image. And then in SignLab, I right click and it doesn't paste it. So you're going to have to actually hit Control V on your keyboard. And then right here, this is the upper left corner of where that image is going to be. And I just click. Don't click and drag, just click. And there that image is. I'm going to make it a little larger. And now I can go ahead and start making this. So I would find a truck just like this, and you're going to pick a place to start. I'm going to do just the line one. I'm going to click, and you should be able to get away without an enormous amount of clicks. So like for this straight edge, there's no reason for me to put 5 clicks in here. Just go straight over, click, use the ball of your mouse to zoom in if you need to. And I just kind of typically play it on where the full dark shades come in here. So these are all full black, and then you have your grayscale gradient down here. I kind of just play it typically on the ones that are fully the color. So here, boom. I think you can get what I'm seeing here. I'm not going to put a ton of detail into it. For this, I'm going to just skip over the wheel for now. And then I'm going to hit apply, and there's my shape. So now I want to cut the windows out of here. So I'm going to go Alt S so I can see through that shape. I'm going to go to free draw again. And apply. And another. So now this one I can see that it's a little off. So I just want to double click on it, and I can click and drag that node over. And this one I'm going to click and drag down. If I'm having a hard time clicking and dragging, I can just click on it and then use my arrow keys on the keyboard to line everything up, which is what I used often. Use the arrows a lot. So next one, this should be real simple here. And apply. I see that it's going up like steps over here, so I probably want to just edit that a bit. Up those down until it's nice and smooth. With that on the right. There we go. Double click to edit the nodes. Move them over so they look good. I'm going to try keeping this in line right over here. Boom. Apply. And then I'm going to change this one to, we'll just say blue for now. Blue and blue. So that when I go Alt S again, I come back out and they're different colors. So now what I want to do is I want to highlight all of them. So I have these three on top of my yellow. And then I'm going to go to Basic Weld. Click. And then I should be able to move those over, and I have those holes in there. Now I'm going to go back to no fill mode. Once again, that's view and uncheck show fill. I use Alt S. It's just way quicker for me, and that's why you use hotkeys. It just becomes much quicker. And then here we can try the arc edit. Now, I'm not going to do each tooth necessarily. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to just kind of do that. And then up here. So every down part and up part, I'm just going to kind of just click and drag just a little bit so it gets a little bit of arc on those, but nothing crazy. So just get used to the clicking and dragging and then matching up the arc with the previous one. So you have a little bit of a match, and then coming back, similar. We can go back and edit these nodes, but you don't. Yeah, you just don't want to mess up and have it something like that. So just kind of gradual ones that shows a little bit of tread. Click and drag. I just want to see how this looks here when I speed it up and just do one arc instead of a midpoint node. So I can. It's going to look kind of irregular, but Just kind of speeding it up here. And then apply. I want to see how that shape turned out. Good enough for what we're doing. So I'm going to turn that to black. And then an easy way to line things up, I just click and drag and move them down here so they click to the center point of these, the edge of my sign blank. And then I'm going to make a circle here and change that to white, and then move that, and that should snap as well. So there's my wheel. I know this is a pretty garbage looking wheel, but just kind of an excuse for us to use that arc thing, the arc node. If I want to come in and edit these, I definitely can. More worried about you guys just getting familiar with the tools. I'm going to shrink this down, re-snap it to the middle there. And then I'm going to hit Control C to copy and Control V to paste that. If I want, I can move these down so they snap there. And move this down. And then paste my other one and move it so it snaps down. So my wheels are perfectly in line. It's important that you take note of that kind of stuff. And then I can delete this background. And there I have my first Tonka truck decal made. Boom. Right there. So then clean that up, delete the rest, and then you should be able to print this out nice and neat, put it in your binder. After that, you should be ready to move on to our first kind of basic project. But that was just kind of a crash course on these tools. Obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to ask some students or me. But you should have enough tools in your arsenal now to start designing some pretty cool decals and logos for the next assignments.